Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the homestead. I ended up getting, I think, 26 pints of sausage from yesterday's video. So 26 pints, 26 meals, 26 jars in the pantry. Keep going, you guys. Preserve all you can and do what you can right where you are. Today is day 2 of our freezer challenge. If you're new here, my family and I live on 1 acre. We do as much food growing, food preservation. We have some small animals, no big stuff, big garden, homemade greenhouse. If this is your first time visiting, go check it out. We're just simple folks, and we're just trying to share with you what we do to encourage you to grow whatever you can, even if it's just lettuce or whatever. So we were going to do lard today for day 2 of our freezer clean out, and it's still pretty frozen, so it's going to either get moved to tonight or tomorrow. And we went ahead and cleaned out some berries from this last year. Most of them aren't dated. This one here is from May. So, I mean, they're all within a year of age. We have strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and Bing cherries. I'm going to can some of them in pints, some of them in half pints. I'm going to keep it as low sugar as possible. Some of them are going to be, like the blueberries, we're going to can in small portions for at least part way, so we can like make, any kind of a keto treat for Daddy and Mama, or a blueberry muffin for the kids. And the strawberries, I'm going to cook down and try to make a jam the old-fashioned way without a lot of sugar and even without pectin. I'm just going to let it cook. So that's the first time I've ever tried that. That'll be interesting. At any rate, there's a pretty good little pile here. I don't know how well you can see it. And yes, Miss Ruthie's at my feet. Here's my pile, and here's my pots. And we're going to water bath all of this, so no pressure canning for today. Let's get started. Alright, I think pot number 1, we're going to put strawberries in here, okay? And if they come out of here quick enough, I've been letting them defrost for a while. These came from a local farm, an Amish community, and we certainly don't want them to waste. Oh, they're so delicious fresh. And I'm actually surprised they even have any. This one I can tell by looking. This one's store-bought, but we're going to mix them. Funny how stuff drops down to the bottom and you forget about it. We were out digging for berries this morning and found a pound of sausage after yesterday, after cooking all that sausage and putting it up. And we thought we looked really thoroughly. Well, we still missed one. Okay, so that's 3 quart bags of strawberries, and it looks like that's it for that. So, this is gonna, sorry y'all, fix your back. So this is going to take just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put it on a low. There's a little oil on my thing there. Just, I don't know. We'll put it on 3 to start. It's pretty frozen. And we're just going to let this cook down nice and slow. And if it starts making too much noise or bubble or anything, I'll turn it down a little bit more. I think for the blueberries, I'm going to go ahead and just put them in this big pot. That's Mr. Bear coming in. And I have these 3-pound bags. This one might be a little smaller. These were given to us by neighbors, family, different individuals. Especially, I think these were like a 2021, when all the food was being given away and they didn't know what to do with them, and they gave them to us. And I had full intentions of preserving them sooner, but I think they're all right. I think we're just going to put them in here. So if you had any of these given to you, and you still want to use them, check them out, make sure they look good, and I think they do. They'll be fine, especially for muffins. And then can them up. Oh, I had a little ice in it. I'm not adding any water to any of these, because with all this ice, it's going to make plenty of its own icy water juice, whatever you want to call it. It'll be fine. I never add water to my fruit anyway. Not even when it's fresh. Alright. That's a pretty full pot of blueberries. Let's cook this down. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put it on a 4 to start. That shouldn't take very long. The main thing that's going to inhibit it, of course, is the ice and the cold. But they're going to cook down pretty quick. And we don't want them cooked down completely. We just want them good and warmed up so we can can them. This is about how I wanted them. They might be a little cool yet, but they're not frozen anymore. Some of the berries are far bigger than the other ones. And I'm not going to put a huge amount of sugar in here. I was debating think I'm going to do 1 cup. This is for us, so just 1 cup. It should be plenty. And then some, I think. We're just going to stir this in. I'll give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to jar this up. Now remember, these are not hot. They're just thawed. Like when you put your hand in there, and I did. I have the purple finger to prove it. To temperature check it. Anyway, they're not hot. It's cool to the touch. I just wanted to get it good and thawed out. Okay? Because they're going to cook during their water bath. So we're packing pints right now. Blueberries are messy, y'all. If you've never done it before, they are messy. But still good. Our favorite way to use them is to make muffins. But you can take these berries off your shelf and you can puree them, cook them down, whatever, and make a syrup out of them. You can use them in cakes, cobblers, whatever you want. That's why I like to can these sort of things really simple, no specific seasonings, you know, like the cinnamon and all that stuff. Just wait until you're ready to use it to season it how you want, to add what you want into it. Make cakes. I mean, I don't even know how much canned blueberries are, but I don't go to the grocery store. Actually, I go a lot, but I guess I don't pay attention to those things a lot because I just do it here. But I'm sure they went up and they're high just like everything else. A little more juice. That's better. Okay, now we're going to get some small jars filled and then we're going to get the canner out. Okay, so the water bath canner is full. I managed to fit in 1, 2, 3, 4 pints, but 2 of them were wide mouth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half pints. And so I have a couple pints left over, but because it's not hot, or you know, it's just cooled down, we can save these for another batch because chances are there's going to be some irregularities in the size of the batches. Or if I have just a few and I don't want to run my big canner, I'll throw them into my carry-in water bath. I had just a little bit of fruit left and a little bit of juice. This is more juice than anything. And I saved this because with these other batches of fruit, chances are I'll have a little extra from each one. We can combine them all into the same jar and have a mixed fruit to use for a dessert or what have you. Miss Petunia calls that bumble fruit. But that's what we're saving this for. I did put my vinegar in my canner. Once this comes to a rolling boil, I mean you want a good boil, we're going to water bath this for 15 minutes. And then I guess we'll give it a rest after that. We'll pull them out, set them over there, and then we'll start on our next batch of fruit. Okay, I switched some stuff around. I want to get this process over with a little bit quicker. Yesterday I canned for 6 hours. Today I'd like it to be a little shorter, and it should be, considering this is just water bathing. So I have my blueberries canning back here on this back burner, and it's just about ready to start timing. I moved the strawberries into a smaller pot, and now I have the bean cherries in this pot. And I had decided that I was going to make the strawberry jam. But I got to thinking, honestly, I think we would use it more as a syrup. So I'm going to use my immersion blender to puree it really well. I'm going to see the thickness of it because it's starting to thicken up quite a bit, but it does have a lot of juice. And if it's kind of syrupy, I think I'm going to can it like that because especially if you're eating low sugar, strawberries are pretty sweet on their own. I maybe did maybe a tablespoon of sugar, just basically help it hold its color. That's all I did. This one maybe got half a cup of sugar. So I'm going as low as I can without going completely without. And then I still have my extra blueberries over here, so I think I can take those blueberries, these strawberries, and I'm going to put them in my Nesco, and I'm going to water bath can those and just get those out of the way. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's do that. Okay, I'll move you a little closer so you can see. Always use an old rag. See the stains? Fruit can be messy, so that's why I keep these really old stained rags. That way you just don't have any major losses. And I'm going to try not to burn myself. I already did it once when I was transferring it from this pot to that pot. It splashed up and it got me. And I'm just going to keep it on a 1. It doesn't want to be crazy. We're just going to go ahead and let these strawberries just blend in. They're really, really soft. So they smell wonderful. If this turns out the way I'm hoping it does, I may just do this with next year's fresh berries. Other than eating them fresh, of course. But the ones, instead of putting them in the freezer, I may just make the syrup and can it. And then that way I have a low sugar treat that I can mix in with any sugar-free pudding, sugar-free Jell-O, a breakfast if you have like a low-carb Dutch baby or a crepe or something like that. There you go. Now I'm tempted to make syrup out of the blueberry or blackberries. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I did go ahead and throw out a couple bags of the blackberries because once they started thawing and I could see them, they were pretty far gone. But they did not go totally to waste. The chickens got them, so it was a treat. I think that's pretty good. It looks good. I don't think I'll let this go much longer, and I'll probably go ahead and can it. That looks really nice. It's a little foamy, so I may add some butter just to get the foam cut down some. Not a big deal in your processing. You do the same thing with jams. But I really like how that looks. I think that's what we're going to do with this. Awesome. Sweet. It almost traces like a soap. I mean, it's getting pretty close. Right on. Okay, these are the jars that I chose to put my strawberry syrup in. Aren't they pretty? I just thought it would look nice. Something pretty with this pretty color. Alright. My jars might be a little cool because they waited a while, so I'm going to temper them. And by tempering, I'm going to put just a little bit in the bottom of the warmth to give the jar a chance to warm up. See? Now, if it's really cold, don't do that. But these just need a little bit of time to temper, so you can already feel the warmth coming through. And then I can add more as I go on. And it'll be fine after that. Gives the jar a chance to adjust so that it's not so shocked by putting something hot in a cold jar. You don't want to do that. I did sneak a little taste. Oh, it's yummy. It's not overly sweet. You can definitely taste the berries. They wasn't freezer burnt or anything. So this might be my new favorite strawberry treat. Oh yeah, see, that's getting good and warm. That's what we want. I can feel the warmth in the jar now. And then after this cools, it'll thicken up even more. And if I don't fill all 4 jars, I'll just dump from one to another. It's fine. Because I kind of jumped the gun and assumed I'm going to get 4 of them. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe I'll just get a couple. Look how pretty. That really looks darker than it actually is. It's a beautiful shade of red. So I love it. Love it. Alright, I'm going to get this filled up the rest of the way. Okay, so I got 3 pints. Aren't those pretty? I believe these are right at a pint. I still have the 2 pints from the blueberries. I may have to warm these up a little bit in the can. I don't want them to bust. So that makes 5, which fits into my water bath, or to my carry, which will water bath perfectly. It holds, actually it holds 6, so I would have had room for another one. So I've got plenty. So I think this is what I'm going to do. Let's get our lids and rings on. Okay, so I got the blueberries out of the canner. I didn't even think to video that, but there's the blueberries. That's how they came out. And then I went ahead and saved the strawberries and the blueberries just in case I had one more pint. So those have not been processed yet. They're just waiting. And I'm currently cooking down the Bing cherries. I think I'm going to make this more as a preserve, or maybe even a little bit thicker. Kind of like a candied cherry, but without all the sugar. I'm going to see how that goes. Just something really basic that we could throw in with any kind of meal. Something semi-sweet that we can put, you know, just to help out those of us that have this new lower sugar lifestyle. And then I just put blackberries in this pot and I'm cooking them down. I have 1 more quart bag to put in here, so it'll be 3 quarts I cook down total. And honestly, I think I'm probably just going to cook these. I'm changing my mind as I go along through the day, y'all, so I'm sorry. There's so many different ways that you can preserve fruit. You can always make jams, you can always make pie filling, but this healthier stuff is new to me. You know, we've ate what we want for our entire adult lives, within reason, nothing crazy, but I think, since we're not going to make a cobbler, we're not going to make dumplings, we're not going to make jam out of this, I think I'm going to cook it and strain it and make a sugar-free homemade blackberry syrup. So that way I'll have a strawberry syrup and a blackberry syrup, and I think those both will be really good and just a nice treat for us when we need it. So that's what's going so far. Just a quick update. I'm a couple hours in, and you know, we're going to wrap it up before too long. I can feel it. This has cooked down quite a lot, and so I went ahead and switched the pans around. And the cherries are now in the saucepan, and the blackberries are now straining in this smaller stock pot. And I just have purple juice everywhere. I'm trying not to burn myself or knock anything over. So at any rate, we're going to let this simmer a while longer. It's really broke down quite a bit, and I'm just trying to get the natural sugars to do their thing and to break it down to where it's almost like candied cherries before I can these. And this, as soon as I get the juice to stop draining, it's doing it right now, and there's still a pretty good little trickle coming out of here. We'll go ahead and work on... Probably cook it for a little bit. I don't want just juice, to thicken it up, and then we'll make this a syrup. So we're getting there. Little by little, we're getting closer. Okay, so I finally got done with the cherries. I'm not 100% sure it's going to turn out the way I had in mind. I'm a little worried that I just overcooked them. I mean, I guess only time will tell. I did taste them, and they're not nearly as sweet as what you expect, but that's just, you know, when you're not using artificial sweeteners and you're using what you have, you kind of have to go with the natural flavors. So we'll see. This is an experiment for me. I've never done it before, but I thought it was worth trying. Because I have so many different things going into the water bath at the same time, I should be able to tell them all apart without problem, but you know, in reality, sometimes things get confused. So I'm marking the jars with the cherries, and I have 1 small jar here that is half of the blueberries and half blackberry juice. So this one I have to mark, and then I have 1, it's hot, 1 jar of blackberry syrup. So I want to make sure that I mark that before I put it in my water bath canner. A little warm on the pinky, so that we don't have any mix-ups, which in reality I shouldn't, but you just never know. There has been times, and it will happen to pretty much everybody, that you'll can something and you're in a hurry and you'll think, oh, I'll know what that is, and you'll put it in the pantry or your cabinet, and then later on you're like, I don't know what that is. So just label it just in case. So this is my last one. Blackberry, blueberry. I have no clue what we'll do with this, but we'll find something. Waste not, want not, correct? Okay, everything seems to be ready. I've got the canner warming up. I'm going to fill this up as full as I can, and then whatever's left over, I'm going to put in the Nesco and water bath in it. Okay, y'all, finally done. This is today's work. I got, in total, 6 half pints of cherries, 2 3/4 pints, that's what I call these, they're too hot to get out, of cherries, 7 half pints of blueberries, 3 pints of strawberry syrup, 1 pint of blackberry syrup, 6 pints of blueberries, and 1 half pint of blueberry blackberry mix. So there you go. That was in the freezer this morning. Now it's shelf stable. I think that's a good day, a good way to spend the afternoon yet again. I wonder what we're going to do tomorrow. All right, I'm tired. It's been a long day, and I'm ready to sound off. Thank you so much for joining me yet again. I look forward to seeing y'all or hearing from you all, not seeing you all. Wish I could see you all. I look forward to hearing from you and sharing more with you in the future. Take care. Do what you can right where you are.
In Psalms 34, verse 8, taste and see that the Lord is good, and blessed is the man that trusts in him.
Bye, y'all.